It's a stunning morning here in Cape Town. Mother Nature has blessed us. Now, talking about Mother Nature, today is Earth Day. It is also Earth Week, highlighting the plight of Mother Nature and what we can do to actually help her. And one of the things you can do is by planting a tree. So we're with Misha from Green Pop. He's going to talk about the importance of planting trees and also how to go about doing that. Dude, how are you doing?
I'm really good, thank you.
Cool, man. I'm excited about this. Look at this day. It's beautiful. I mean, how can you not want to do things for Mother Nature today, right?
Exactly.
So planting trees, one of the significant things that you can do. Why is that so important? How can that help our environment?
Well, I think it's important to be planting trees because it adds a huge amount of biodiversity. Obviously, from a human aspect, a sense of pride, a sense of place, air conditioning, shade, they provide fruit. So many reasons to plant a tree.
Can you just imagine if every single person on this earth would plant just one small tree?
Well, that's 7 billion trees. That's
Can you
a
imagine?
lot of trees, yeah.
Can you imagine what it will do for the environment?
That
All right,
would be
so
great.
cool. So we're going to plant a tree this morning, and I know that a lot of viewers out there might be asking, you know, or not sure whether or not, or what trees they should buy and plant. So what would your advice be?
Well, I think it depends on the type of environment you have, like your house. It's always good to be planting fruit trees, obviously from a food security point of view. And then also maybe looking, you know, if you have kids, maybe you want to plant a climbing tree.
One that you can hang a swing on.
One that you can hang a swing on. My personal favorite is a Syzygium caudatum, which is a waterberry tree. It's a fairly fast-growing tree. It's a strong tree. There's many different types of trees.
So just do your research a little bit. Any trees that the viewers should kind of stay away from?
You'd probably look at some of the exotic trees like eucalyptus or pine. Try and stick to something that's indigenous.
All right, cool. So here we have a tree. We're going to be planting this one, and you're going to take us through the process of actually planting it correctly.
Yep, that's the idea.
Let's start with what we have here.
We've got, it's called a Podocarpus fulcatus, or the Otaniqua yellowwood. It is indigenous to South Africa, and it's a beautiful tree. It's very slow growing, but it'll add a lot of value to your life.
Great stuff. Okay, so take us through the process. What do we need? I see you prepped a pot here already.
So what we've got is we've got a pot with some soil in it. We've got some reliance over here. You need a tree, obviously, a pole, some ties, and then some fertilizer, a little bit of chicken poo right over there.
That's not really chicken poo, is it?
Well, it's pelletized, organic, Nutrog fertilizer, so you can pop that in, mix it in nicely.
All right. How much do you put in that? Just a couple of handfuls? Or?
I'd say about a handful, and then some mulch. And the mulch, what the mulch does is it essentially it acts as a barrier, like a skin for the plant. So it reduces the evaporation, and it encourages a little bit of dynamic activity.
Great.
So you've got a little bit of breaking down happening on the surface there.
Okay, cool. So it's not too much stuff you need. So we filled the pot about halfway with that soil. Okay. Let me help you here.
Thank you.
There we go. And you want to keep it intact as is. You don't want to break down the soil
you actually, what you want to do is, now at this point, you want to just loosen up those roots.
Okay.
They've been in the pots for, you know, maybe about 2 years now.
Yes.
So they've been going round and round and getting a little bit crazy. And we just want to loosen them up and invigorate them.
All right.
There we go.
Cool.
Now the next thing we want to do, we're going to add a little bit more fertilizer.
Great stuff. So the same principle applies if you would plant it in the ground?
Definitely, same principle. Then we're going to add some of this, a little bit of compost.
Brilliant.
Now, one of the things that's critical to know at this point is that the height at which you plant your tree is super important. If you plant your tree too deep, which means that this over here, which is your collar of the tree, if it gets planted too deep, you can get something called collar rot. If you plant it too shallow, then obviously the roots eventually, they become exposed. And that's not a good thing because they can dehydrate. If our southeast starts blowing, then the tree can fall over.
So it's very important not to plant it down too deep.
If there's anything I can suggest, the one thing you want to do is make sure you got your height right. What I do with the kids is I call it the wiggle test. So I get everyone to put their finger in the air, put your finger in there.
Got it.
Now wiggle. All right. Now we're going to bring it down, and can you feel the roots? I can feel the roots.
Okay, all right, great. So the root should be just covered.
You've got to be able
to feel that. That's cool, the wiggle test. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, so this is in now. Now we're going to obviously tie it down to, you know, with the Cape Town winds.
Oh, you're just going to give it a little bit of compression. There we go.
Great.
That's good.
So while we tie this down, in terms of upkeeping of your tree, to make sure that it really grows properly, what should you keep in mind?
Do you want to tie that over there while I give you an answer? I think one of the most important things is to make sure that you give it plenty of water. 10 to 20 liters of water a week is recommended. also maybe 6 months to a year, you might want to give it a little bit more fertilizer. If you can see that the tree is not doing too well, especially if it's in a pot, maybe it doesn't need to be in a pot. It might be getting root bound. Okay. So you want to consider that. And then also looking at the type of soil conditions that you've got. Sometimes it's more clayey or sandy. So always consider that when you're in your garden store and you're looking for a tree to plant.
All right, cool.
One of the last things we're going to put in is our mulch. So this is essentially just chipped wood.
Nice.
It adds a nice visual
That's the thing, it looks
feature.
nice as well. Oh, stunning.
Just pour it in there. Our friends from Pick and Pay.
Brilliant. So you can get that there. All right.
No, you can't buy this at Pick and Pay.
You can't buy it.
Well, you might be able to.
You know, I just put 2 and 2 together. Okay, cool, man. So that's it. And that's as easy as that. So that's your tree planted, and now it will flourish. Just quickly, Misha, you guys are doing something special today for Earth Day.
Yeah,
what's happening?
Yesterday we did a cycle around the city. After that we did a yoga on the promenade. And today, to celebrate Earth Day, we have a whole team that are going to go out and plant, I think it's 40 trees in a school somewhere in Cape Town. So if you want to join us, you can drop us a mail at info@greenpop.org, or you can even drop something on our Facebook page, which is Greenpop.
But we'll put all those details on our website, expressoshow.com. Dude, thanks a lot, man. Promise we'll look after this tree very nicely. I'll leave it to you. You can come up with a name for it. While we go over to Grant, I know it's the buzz. Grant, what's happening, buddy?